Primary occupations such as agriculture, fishing, animal husbandry and mining yield raw materials from natural resources. However, these raw materials cannot always be used in their crude form. These raw materials have to be processed to create new products and materials that can be used for other purposes. The occupations of people involved in the processing of raw material to produce new material are called secondary occupations. Industries involved in such processing need to be located at places where raw materials, labor, capital, energy and transport facilities are available easily. Since the raw materials require processing on a large scale to obtain maximum output in less time, machines are used extensively in these industries. Some of the important processing industries are iron and steel, textile and engineering industries. Iron and steel is the basic material in most modern equipment such as cars, in infrastructure and in machinery. So, manufacturing iron and steel is very important for a country's economic progress and prosperity. This industry also generates employment for a number of people involved in secondary occupations. The process of converting iron ore to steel requires a number of raw materials from iron ore, coal, limestone and manganese to water and power supply. Good transport facilities are also necessary since the raw materials are heavy and transportation is expensive. Due to this, iron and steel industries are found near coal and iron ore mines. For instance, in India, a number of iron and steel industries are found in West Bengal, Jharkhand and Orissa, where large reserves of iron ore and coal are found. The textile industry is also an important industry where cotton is processed into cloth. The industry involves spinning, dyeing, designing and sewing amongst other processes and provides employment to a lot of people. The location of this textile industry depends on the availability of cotton, which is the main raw material. The other important factor is climate, because humidity reduces the breakage of thread so that long strands can be obtained from cotton. In India, cotton textile industries are mainly located in Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and in some parts of Gujarat. Processing of raw materials into more usable products such as industrial machineries, railway engines, electrical machinery and automobiles is done by engineering industries. The steel produced by iron and steel industries is used as raw material by these industries. Therefore, engineering industries are usually located close to industries producing raw material. In India, engineering industries are located at West Bengal, Bangalore, Mumbai, Ludhiana, Ranchi and Visakhapatnam.
Industry refers to an economic activity that is concerned with production of goods, extraction of minerals, or the provision of services. Industries can be classified on the basis of raw materials, size, and ownership. Industries may be agro-based, mineral-based, marine-based, and forest-based, depending on the type of raw materials they use. Agro-based industries use plant and animal-based products as their raw materials. Food processing, vegetable oil, cotton textile, dairy products, and leather industries are examples of agro-based industries. Mineral-based industries are primary industries that use mineral ores as their raw materials. The products of these industries feed other industries. Iron made from iron ore is the product of mineral-based industry. Marine-based industries use products from the sea and oceans as raw materials. Industries processing seafood or manufacturing fish oil are some examples. Forest-based industries utilize forest produce as raw materials. The industries associated with forests are pulp and paper, pharmaceuticals, furniture, and buildings. Size of an industry refers to the amount of capital invested, number of people employed, and the volume of production. Based on size, industries can be classified into small-scale and large-scale industries. Cottage or household industries are a type of small-scale industry where the products are manufactured by hand by the artisans. Basket weaving, pottery, and other handicrafts are examples of cottage industry. Small-scale industries use lesser amount of capital and technology. Large-scale industries produce large volumes of products. Investment of capital is higher, and the technology used is superior in large-scale industries. Production of automobiles and heavy machinery are large-scale industries. Industries can be classified into private sector, state-owned or public sector, joint sector, and cooperative sector. Private sector industries are owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals. The public sector industries are owned and operated by the government, such as Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, the Plane Displayed HAL Tejas, and Steel Authority of India Limited. Joint sector industries are owned and operated by the state and individuals, or a group of individuals. Maruti Udyog Limited was an example of joint sector industry. Cooperative sector industries are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. Anand Milk Union Limited and Sudha Dairy are success stories of a cooperative venture. Who owns and operates the public sector industries? Excellent. Which of these refers to the amount of capital invested, number of people employed, and the volume of production? Size refers to the industry refers to an economic activity that is concerned with production of goods, extraction of minerals, or the provision of services. Industries can be classified on the basis of raw materials, size, and ownership.
Have you seen yards of colorful cloth on sale in a textile shop and wondered how they are made? Well, there's a whole industry that works to make cloth called the textile industry. The primary raw material for the textile industry is cotton. After the cotton flowers, white fibers grow around the cotton seeds. These are harvested and packed into bales before being sent to the textile mills. At the textile mills, the cotton fiber undergoes several processes like ginning and spinning to be converted into yarn. A number of machines as well as people are involved in the process. The yarn is then woven to form the fabric through machines or by hand. The fabrics are then dyed to form the final product or the output, that is the colorful cloth you see in the market. The process through which the cotton fibers turn into cotton cloth shows how any industrial system works. In the textile industry, cotton fibers and their transportation to the textile mills involve the raw materials or inputs. The steps involved in converting the raw materials into the finished product, such as ginning, spinning, weaving, and dyeing, are the processes in the making of cloth. The finished product, here the cloth, is called the output. Similarly, all industrial systems involve the three steps of inputs or raw materials, a process, and the output or the final product.
After the Industrial Revolution, industries have spread quickly across the world. Today we'll first take a look at all the major iron and steel producing countries in the world. As you can see, India is a major producer of iron and steel. It is also a major center for the cotton and textile industry. India has booming iron and steel industry in Jharkhand. The cotton textile industry has grown in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Let us first look at the iron and steel industry in Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur, previously known as Sakchi, was the perfect site for the iron and steel plant. It is just 32 kilometers away from the Kalimati railway station, which carried iron ore from Chhattisgarh and Bengal. It was also near two rivers, Kharkai and Swarnareka. This ensured constant water supply all the year round. This industry opened doors for India's industrial growth. Sakchi was renamed to Jamshedpur after the founder Jamshedji Tata, and the railway station was renamed to Tata Nagar. Cotton textile industry has grown majorly in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat. The most important of all are Mumbai and Gujarat. There are many reasons for the growth of this industry. Firstly, cotton grows in large quantities in Maharashtra and Gujarat. The availability of easy railway and road transport infrastructure reduces transportation costs. With a large number of people available as working population in the cities, it is easier to find people to work in the mills. The port facilities in these states allow easy access to send goods across the sea route for exporting textiles and importing upgraded machinery. Which of these cities is famous for its iron and steel industry? Jamshedpur is famous. What was Jamshedpur previously known as? Jamshedpur. India has booming iron and steel and cotton textile industry. Iron and steel industry, Jamshedpur, just 32 kilometers away from railway station, close to Kharkai and Swarnareka. Cotton and textile industry, Maharashtra and Gujarat. Favorable conditions for supply of cotton, availability of labor, access to ports.
This is a smartphone, one of the most significant inventions of the 21st century. It is called a smartphone because it functions as a combination of a mobile phone and a modern computer in the form of a small handheld device. Apparently, the mobile phone and the computer both are remarkable inventions of the 20th century. The 20th century has witnessed some remarkable inventions that have shaped human life. Let's take a look at some of the popular inventions from the 20th century. The first aeroplane was invented by Wilbur and Orville Wright, popularly known as the Wright brothers, during the early 20th century. Since then, the invention of aircraft has progressed to include a variety of airplanes that include passenger planes, cargo planes, and fighter planes. Aeroplanes are considered the fastest mode of transport today. Undoubtedly, aeroplanes are useful for traveling at very fast speeds, but they have also been used to cause destruction by dropping bombs during wars or in terror attacks. In fact, it was during the Second World War that fighter planes were used for the first time to drop bombs on the enemy territory. This led to large-scale loss of life and property. In the early 20th century, atomic energy, the energy produced by atoms, was recognized as a means to generate electricity by the nuclear power plants. Atomic energy is also tested in laboratories to be used as medicine. Today, small amounts of radioactive elements are used in the treatment of cancers and heart diseases. However, atomic power can be misused to make atomic bombs that can cause massive destruction to life and property. For example, during the Second World War, America used the atomic bombs against Japan, leading to death of several people and leaving many others permanently disabled. The invention of rockets gave way to extensive space research, helping in the launch of artificial satellites in the 20th century. Artificial satellites are placed in specified orbit around the Earth or any other planet to collect information or for communication. The data collected from satellites help us in many ways. For example, in predicting the weather, the prediction of natural calamities, and measurement of land under cultivation and forest area. The invention of computer technology remains one of the best inventions of the 20th century. Since its invention, almost every sector across the world has been using the technology to maintain and update records, thus facilitating processes. Gradually with time, the invention of the Internet, a computer network system, allowed access to unlimited information from across the globe. Today, the Internet helps us to shop online, communicate through emails and live chats, book tickets and search for information, all at once and at one click.